everyone so much for joining us for the very first Tech Talk of 2024. We're super excited to have Terri here tonight to talk about the Power of Professional Associations. And Terri, as mentioned, as we were chatting, is at Cabrillo College, CIS Faculty. And Terri, we're super excited to hear what you have to say. So welcome.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks. So yes, thanks everybody. Thanks to Bay ICT for letting me come on and talk about this. I've actually, this is a passion of mine, and it's Power of Professional Associations. So we will get started. I'm going to get my Zoom menu out of the way. There we go. So I am Terri Oropeza, as mentioned. I am faculty at Cabrillo College. I've been there for about 6 years, but before that, for over 20 years, I was an information technology manager. For 18 years, I was the Global Solution Center manager at Synopsys in Mountain View. And so when I retired, I got a retirement offer. And I actually was there for 23 years, 18 as a help desk manager. When I retired, I reached out to my friend, Mike Matera, who's a faculty at Cabrillo, and told him that I was, retiring, and I originally was going to be a teacher. So I would love to share my knowledge about IT with students who I love working with. I worked with students from De Anza College for over 15 years when I was at Synopsys, and there just happened to be an opening to teach a class called Tech Support as a Profession. And I am uniquely qualified to teach that class. And none of the other faculty really wanted to teach it because it's not technology, it's process. And that's where my long career has been, in the process or business side of IT. At Cabrillo, I'm also involved with student and employer outreach, and that's how I came to be a part of the VACCC and got to meet Olivia and Sarah. And for the purpose of today's session, I am the president of the HDI San Francisco Bay Area local chapter, which is a professional association for IT technical support and service management professionals. So my motivation for doing this session is really to connect with students in the Bay Area community colleges, but also faculty, if any of you are faculty out there, and to preach the gospel that professional associations are very, very valuable. I would love for more faculty to tell their students about it, and I would love for more students to know about it. And thank you to the students that are here today, because you're here to learn more about this. And there's more, there are quite a few professional associations in the IT field that are in the Bay Area, and we'll talk a little bit more about them later. So that's a little bit about me. So I would love for you to introduce yourselves in the chat. So in the chat, if you could put your name and your organization or school. Are you student, faculty? Are you professional? What's your role? And also feel free to add your contact information there if you would like to connect, because this is about connecting, and your LinkedIn address so we can all connect. I'll give you a couple minutes to type and drop your information in the chat. Are people chatting? I'm not seeing anything.
No, not yet. They're busy typing maybe.
Okay, good.
There we go.
I should type too. Hi, Susie. Oh, cool. You're here from Chico.
Yes, I am.
Feel free to unmute yourself and say hi also. Oh, cool. Cal Poly, nice. Hi, Joanne, faculty at Gavilan. Excellent. Yes, connecting students to jobs. That's what we're all trying to do on the faculty side. Oh, cool. And Lance, I'm assuming you are a CIS or CS instructor at College of Marin?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, nice to meet you. At Foothill, is cybersecurity part of CS, or I'm not, or I think that's, they just have CS, right? At Foothill, and then the stack, the cybersecurity stack is within CS.
Yes, we're part of CS.
Uh-huh.
Let me see.
I know Mike Murphy. I've known him for years.
Yep, he's one of our advisors.
Yes, cool. He's a good guy. I had students from Deanne's Comptex program work for me at Synopsys for over 15 years. Could be. We definitely got Foothill's ear here. Excellent.
Yeah, I put it on the Discord. We have a Discord, and
Oh, you rock.
I just put it on there as a notice.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I'm assuming that the people that there are from been steered there from the notice that the announcement.
Yeah, Cabrillo doesn't start until next week. So although I posted it, I don't see any of my students here yet. They're still on vacation time.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for, so now you already know a few extra people, which is kind of the point of networking. Let's see my cat here in a second. He's looking at me over there. So some of the things that I'm going to talk about is, what are professional associations, and then just ICT in general, and the talent shortage. Why should students be involved in professional associations? Why should faculty want to know about professional associations, and how these connections between career education and industry can help, and then some of the Bay Area professional associations. And if you see anybody from our other associations step in, Olivia, let me know. So otherwise it's you and me talking about it. So for the faculty out there, one of my motivations is to get faculty to lean in and talk about professional associations. When I was in college, and I was a physical education major, my original plan was to be a teacher way back then. And my instructors all told us about the professional associations that were related to the profession that we were getting ready for. And when there were conferences that came to town, they would volunteer us to go help at those conferences so that we would have an opportunity to rub shoulders and elbows with the people that we might someday be working with. And I think that was extremely valuable. And so professional associations I've been involved with in every career that I have had, and IT was only my most recent career. Actually, teaching, I guess, was my most recent career. But I was a recreation professional for many years. I owned my own business in desktop publishing for 10 years. And in each of those professions, I always would seek out the professional association, because the business of a professional association is to advance that particular profession and to support individuals who are in that field. So associations exist for a variety of professions. For instance, IT, that aligns with those interests. A chamber of commerce is really a professional association. Project management, PMI, is another one. And in some fields, like in accounting, you have to be in a professional association because you have to get CEs in order to continue to maintain your certificates. So professional associations serve as a network to connect people together, both locally and nationally and internationally. Excuse me. When I first started as a service desk manager back in 2001, which was as a result of the beginning of that recession, my manager at the time recommended me to go to HDI annual conference because I had been a project manager, and because of layoffs that we experienced, they asked me if I would be the help desk manager. And I didn't really know necessarily anything about help desk, although I had grown up in retail and owned a desktop publishing service bureau. So I went to that conference and I took a class at that conference in managing help desk. And then I met a lot of people, and I was so amazed by the variety of companies that had IT and had technical support, because they were not just tech. Like here in the Bay Area, we're kind of like tech is tech, right? But IT is in every business. I met a woman who was the help desk person for an oil pipeline in Canada. And the people that she was supporting were the field engineers that would go out on the pipeline and check the pipeline to make sure they had integrity. And those people had always been analog. Everything had been analog, and they were converting them to the sturdy laptop computers out in the field. And so that was her job, was to train those users, was to support those users, those field engineers who really didn't want a computer anyway. And so I just was amazed. Dollar store, I met a woman who was the manager of IT for the dollar store. So being part of a professional association gave me people I could call upon as I was learning this new job of managing help desk. And it was also, these people were a lot of fun. And help desk and IT in general, cybersecurity, these are all jobs that come with a level of stress, I hate to tell you. And so it's important, to be able to find your people, your birds of a feather that you can hang with, and that you can call upon without feeling any pressure that you're going to be judged by silly questions that you might ask or frustrations that you might have. So a professional association is that support, that's the networking, it's the learning, and it's very important. It's also the fun. So I have been involved with HDI since 2001. I have a lot of friends that I've kept over the years, and those friends now actually come and speak to my class about different aspects of information technology and support. I call upon them for assistance with challenges, and I still am active in the Bay Area as the president. Even though I'm retired, I still remain active in that professional association. So here I have a really quick video that, oh, I didn't check that box. Let's see if it's going to work fine.
We're not getting volume, Terry.
Okay. I had a feeling because you have to check that box before you share. So let me unshare and reshare.
That I would not have in other places. A catalog. The HDI community for me is an area for me to go and not feel so alone when there's not really anyone else in my organization that does what I do. The HDI community has improved my career by allowing me to have access to resources that I would not have in other places. A catalog of different trainings, of different certifications that apply directly to my job and not just obtusely to my job.
When I started coming to these events, I was new to IT support. I had just transitioned from a sales career, and as I've grown and developed, it's really been in great part because of the people that I've met through HDI and the network I've developed, and being able to rely on these, these contacts in the IT service management community to help me grow and develop.
If it hadn't been for HDI, I probably wouldn't have found my next space. So it's definitely been a network where I could find new opportunities and meet new people and do new things.
The value I found as being a part of the community is it's like a family. You can ask anybody, you can ask anything, you get more ideas.
HDI is really about the community. So to me, it's been a great experience, a great place to learn and grow, and I just wouldn't take anything for it.
The HDI community to me is really about family. It's, I've been coming to these events for about 11 years now, and every time I come, I meet new people and get in contact with them, stay in contact with them, and it's just a phenomenal opportunity to expand my both professional and personal network. And I really consider that these people aren't just colleagues or friends, they're really family.
So I know a lot of those people as part of my participation in HBI over the years, and I think they spoke the words that I feel about what is the role of professional associations. So you never stop learning, and when you belong to a professional association, there's always opportunities for learning. We have a lot of cybersecurity folks here today, and there's a couple of really established cybersecurity organizations in the San Francisco Bay Area as well. As faculty, we can help our students engage with these meetups and professional meetings and help them to get to know people, because it is still who you know. And it's a fun way to meet. So I love to have students participate in our San Francisco Bay Area chapter. It's really fun to see them come as a very shy, a lot of times, quiet person, not quite sure what to do, and then to see them grow and step in and take on roles. Like in your club, you were talking about your club that you have at Foothill, that same sort of growth happens in professional associations. We as faculty, we tell our students, find a mentor, either informally or formally, but it's not always that easy. And by participating or finding a group like HDI or ISSA or SACA, then you get to meet other professionals. And most of the ones that I know, that Olivia and I both know, are really willing to be a mentor, or to just do an informational interview. And by participating and getting to know people through these organizations, you can find that mentor. Or you can become a mentor, right?
Terry, can I interrupt you for a quick moment?
Sure.
On your screen, we're seeing a part of your calendar. I'm wondering if
when I shared, let's see.
Yeah.
Maybe I shared it wrong. So maybe you didn't see the video either. Oh,
we did. We saw the video.
Okay. Good. So I wonder what's going on with that. All right, here, how's that?
Perfect. Thank you.
You know what? I probably shoved the screen over somehow.
No worries. All good.
Thank you for letting me know. Now I got to get my screens back. One moment. A lot of these organizations, we have regular meetings, events where there's a guest speaker. So much like this Tech Talk today, which is targeted towards largely a more student audience, but in these associations, we have speakers that come in and talk either about professional leadership and growth, or a technical discussion. In my San Francisco chapter, most recently, we just had a fun event, which was an award celebration, because we actually do an annual awards program. And next month, we're doing a seminar on how to stressed out or burned out, how to prevent that from yourself. So all sorts of educational programs and webinars. Our national organization also has podcasts on topics that are related to IT service management, which, depending upon the organization you work for, cybersecurity sits inside of information technology, or it's adjacent. And I think over time, it's going to just become woven in as part of everything that we do. And, I think most of you probably have heard in your classes that the IT industry continues to be strong, even with the current economic news. We see job growth over the next decade that's faster than average for all other occupations. We see jobs projected to be added over the next decade. And a lot of it is due to replacement needs, people like myself who retire, but also from the continuing increase of technology that happens within this ICT space. And of course, the pay range is much better than average. Even beginning average wage is much higher than for all other occupations, being in that 97,000. That's for all types of jobs, not just entry-level jobs, of course. 97,000 a year. So for students, those of you here that are students, it's still who you know. Finding a job, finding an internship, finding an apprenticeship, it still is who you know. And not all of us come to the table with a lot of people within our family network that are those people that can help us to move along a path that we've chosen. So by being a part of an association, and of course, NextGen, many of you here that are from NextGen or from the Cyber Club at Foothill, you are creating your network right now by being involved in those types of activities. So when you go to an event, when you go to a conference, you talk to people, you're constantly now practicing your interview skills every time you have a conversation with somebody. So it's a continuous job interview. IT people tend towards the introverted side often. And so, it takes practice to learn to be at ease in those situations. And so by joining, excuse me, by joining a club or an organization, it's a little less stressful. Excuse me one second, I had a cold last week, so. My throat is reminding me that I had a cold last week. So by participating in these types of things, you become more at ease in going into situations like an interview, or in maybe being asked to even speak, like say speak at a tech talk. You become more confident, more at ease. And of course, it's a great opportunity to meet a mentor. And for those of you that are here with us from colleges, from faculty, we as faculty and as mentors in organizations, we have an opportunity to really connect our students or our members with other people that might have internship opportunities, might be able to sponsor our students to do various activities. Also, by participating in professional associations, we can find people to be guest speakers in our classes, be on our advisory boards, maybe to be future faculty, because we all know it's not easy to find faculty, especially here in the Bay Area, because you can make more money in industry than you can teaching community college. You can find workshop leaders, competition judges, because Bay Cyber has regular competitions, and in fact that's how I met some of the people that Olivia and I worked with on this presentation we did recently, was through the Bay Cyber competitions. You can meet people that you can invite to your career fairs, and just keep in touch with industry, what industry is doing that you're teaching your students. Any faculty on the call that can testimony to how they might have used this type of organization for that? Okay. And then for those of you that are employers, I don't know if we have any employers on the phone, on the call, but if you are in industry or an employer, professional associations are a great way to connect with your education partners by participating in things like Bay Area community colleges. And community colleges, we do represent a very broad group of future employees, probably one of the most diverse groups of future employees that you're going to find in any other types of organizations. So Olivia, this is where I was going to have you talk a little bit about your participation in ISSA and other organizations.
Yeah, it's a wonderful story. When I was the program manager for the cybersecurity apprenticeship program at City College of San Francisco, one of the biggest challenges that I had in and by the way, that program still exists. It's moved over to Tech SF, if you want to know about that. Terry had mentioned Tech SF early, first law dawn. But anyway, I was thinking, well, how am I going to connect with industry? And the job developer there at City College of San Francisco, Steve Nelson, says, hey, well, come with me to an ISSA meeting. And it was just, it just blossomed from there. And the cool thing about it is that because I'm in education, I got kind of the student discount for membership. That's another thing to remember too, is that a lot of these professional organizations have student membership plans. So, where it might cost more for a professional to join the organization, it would cost you less. And a lot of times it's free. Okay. But anyway, there I met Hakeem Osini, who was working at Wells Fargo at the time, but also had started a program at UC Berkeley, their Masters in Information Security. And then through him, I met Steve Booth. And I don't know if those of you have been around for Tech Talks a lot. Steve was at FireEye at the time and did some great talks. Also through ISSA, I met Jimmy Sanders. And Jimmy is just such an advocate around getting students pathways into cybersecurity. And he used to do these programs called, he was at Netflix at the time, and it was called A Day in the Life of Netflix. And we would bring groups of students down to those events. And then through those contacts, there was a new organization getting started in the Bay Area, Cyversity. And I was invited to come to their kickoff meeting, and they recruited me to be on the chapter leadership board, which then connected me to NextGen. And in the meantime, I mean, my network is just blossoming.
Mhm.
And all of these contacts are still very, these relationships are just really important in the work that I do, and exposing and connecting students and skill builders with, opportunities to learn. I work with John at Foothill in bringing up one of Next Gen's partners, Armis, to do some training, some online training on the Internet of Things, securing the Internet of Things. So training and networking and opportunities to meet industry folk, and connecting, my network with each other. And there's another organization that I'm not a member of it yet, but I do attend some of the meetings. ISACA, which also
Mhm.
is a cybersecurity professional organization. So anyway, in that all got started in like 2018, when I was managing the apprenticeship program, and it's evolved into what I'm doing today, which I'm really enjoying. So yeah, it got started with going to a chapter meeting and making these connections that just fanned out.
Mhm.
It's amazing.
Yes, and on this slide that I'm sharing here, that Sarah will put into the website, is the link to the TWC Tech Workforce Collaborative, which was part of all those people that Olivia just said, that we got together during the pandemic and did a virtual networking event for cybersecurity and future IT professionals. So it still has great content in it.
And
Anybody else?
we're hoping to do another one.
Yes, that
Yeah,
would be
we've been in
great.
conversations with Jimmy Sanders, who spearheaded that, as well as all the other things that he's doing. And so, and that all of these organizations, these three organizations you see here, were involved in that workforce collaborative. And so and they do want to stay engaged. We just have to put it together.
Mhm. Anybody else have a story about professional associations that you've been involved with? Or any of the students here have any questions that we can answer, help you with, and help you connect?
Can anyone speak on the value of the RSA convention, B-sides, Black Hat, and what is it, DEF CON, in terms of networking?
I think, conferences, if you have an opportunity to go to a conference, which as a student, can be outside of your realm, because a lot of them cost money. But if you have an opportunity for someone to sponsor you, you will see so much information beyond what you've been exposed to so far in school and in your own personal research. You will meet people, you will connect with people, you'll just have a really good time. But it does, you do have to put on your extrovert hat a little bit to do that.
And the other thing too about getting connected with these organizations, I think ISSA does, definitely Next is we will go to our partners, and we will get passes for students. We did that, Next Gen did that last year, and we certainly will do it again this year. But also some of these organizations were the ones that contributed passes to Next Gen. So they have them, and they really want to get them out to students and job seekers who want to get more familiar with the industry and what's going on. So again, that's another reason to join, because you can get some discounts and sometimes free passes to some of these conferences.
Yeah, Jen Land just was saying that students have free passes to RSA, which is great. Yeah,
and RSA is really kind of the Disneyland of cybersecurity. So if you're going to pick one, That's where you want to go. You could, if you're just looking for a floor pass to get around and see some of the vendors. I mean, I want to say those are like 50 to 80 bucks or something. It's really not that expensive, even if you have to come out of pocket to go do it. Where it starts getting more expensive is when you want to go into some of the sessions and you want to start
Yeah.
getting some of those the private training and things like that. Now you're in the hundreds and even thousands if you go that route. And most people are getting sponsored by their company, their organization to do that. But yeah, RSA is definitely at the top of the list. Black Hat is great as well, but it's a smaller group. It's more focused on more kind of hardcore cybersecurity. It's even more expensive than RSA, so it's a little more exclusive, if you will, to do that. So most students aren't going to Black Hat. That's kind of your senior guys that are that are doing that one. But if given the opportunity, it's definitely something you want to check out. And you'd be surprised how much information that follows after some of the recorded sessions of the documentation that they supply. So even if you don't get a chance to go to some of these, there's a lot of times some information you can still get from them.
Yeah. HDI's conferences are not in the Bay Area. They're, in fact, their next conference, which is IT, which is Support World Live, is in April, May, and it's going to be in Denver this year. Typically, their conferences are either in Orlando or Las Vegas, but they did a change of venue this year, which I'm kind of glad, to Denver. And they do have also free floor pass that has to be that has to be approved by someone when you request for it. But just going through the show part is very, very informative. I mean, when I first started in IT and I would go to the HCI conference, a lot of what I learned was going through the floor show and talking to vendors and just learning all of that stuff because it was all new to me then. Other questions, comments?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, it's as far as like getting, I guess, way into like conferences like these sites, I volunteer to get like a free entrance as well. Same thing with like Pacific Hackers Conference. That's something that you can do too.
Yeah, exactly. And volunteer to help if they're, it's not going to be a glamorous job. You might be sitting at a registration table, but actually that is the best place to meet people is being the greeter. Because you don't have to think of things to talk about. There is a job that you're doing, which is, and we just had the ICT educators conference a couple of weeks ago, and we had a whole group of students from DVC who were helping at the registration table and helping in the sessions. And they got to meet a lot of people while they were there.
And not only meet people, because there's usually enough volunteers where you take shifts and you can go to some of the sessions. So, yeah, you're not working the whole time. You're just contributing your part so that you can go take advantage of the rest of the conference. I was going to mention that about B-Sides as well. And I love B-Sides. It's great.
Last year, actually, I got the pass from the Next Gen. It was covered like whole week. I'm concerned about like if it's this year, it's not happening here in San Francisco. Like, is there any option we can get? Like because it's, I mean, far away to maybe we have to fly, or is there any organization helping with that? Or
that is great. Where is it going to be this year?
It shows just that someone's shared the link. It shows that it will be in May, and someone says it should be here, right? San Francisco, but someone said it's going to be something will be like Colorado or Denver. What was
that's the HDI conference that the professional association that I belong to. Yeah,
I was like, it was like here.
Yeah.
And it just, oh my God, I just got out of
Sorry about that.
RSA is always in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like, I was like, oh my God, something changed.
Has traditionally always been in San Francisco, yes. Well, I have enjoyed talking to you guys, and thanks to everybody that shared your input as well. The power of professional associations is the topic, and you are all, it sounds like a lot of you are already creating your networks of people and your associations, which is great. You're going to do fine. Share it with your schoolmates and your colleagues. And here's my connection information if you would like to connect after, and or link with me on LinkedIn. And thank you. Have a great evening.
Terri, thank you so much for being here. And for the rest of the group, we do keep all of our archived tech talks on our website. Actually, Olivia, do you mind dropping that in the chat? And one of the things that I just, actually, Terri, can you unshare for a minute so I can quickly
go
the
for
next
it.
tech talk? Thank you. Let's see. And I just wanted to pop up our next tech talk, which will be on February 22nd, and it's going to be enhancing education with ChatGPT and AI. And our guest speaker will be Angel Fuentes. For those of you who don't know him, you really should. He's really charismatic and a really great speaker and super knowledgeable. So if you are free and available, February 22nd, we'd love to see you. And again, Terri, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. It was super informative. And that concludes our first Tech Talk of the year. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Other than that, have a great night.
Thank you, and have a good night.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Olivia,
And
thank you for dropping that in
Bye-bye.
the chat.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.
Will the recording be made available at a later date?
Yes, absolutely. So that link that Olivia just dropped in the chat, we have an archive of all of our tech talks, and our promo marketing lady is super quick to get everything up in the chat. So I would probably venture to say by early next week, it should be up and ready to go.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Thanks for joining us.
I have a question if you have 1 or 2 minutes. Like I'm looking for a job at this moment, and I want to also have, if someone can be a mentor, or I'm looking for mentors, someone can help me with that. Too, because I did my internship with Berkeley Lab with IT, but my major concern is I'm into more cybersecurity. So